It's that time of the month again. It's foursome time.
One, two, three, four, hit!
Hello everyone. I'm stroking my pussy. Well, not my pussy. I would have said that I'm stroking my mother's pussy, but that would have sounded really weird, wouldn't it? And it probably still did anyway. Anyway, get lost, cat. Ah, don't knock the camera. Go over there. Sorry. Friday Foursome. Hi, how are you? Foursome is back. Foursome 13. Unlucky for some. I hope you've all been fine. Anyway, we had a good response to the Friday Foursome 12. Gifts. I think sometimes the question got a little bit lost in translation a few times, which was quite amusing. But it doesn't matter anyway, because at the end of the day, the answers were generally the same. Not the same, sorry. Generally following the kind of area that we were going for. Anyway, the question was, if you were been paying attention and not living in a cave, your 4 favourite gifts, childhood gifts it was. Not Christmas, not birthday, just any gifts you want. So we had 13 responses. So yeah, oh no, funny. 13 responses for episode Friday Foursome 13. Ooh, spooky. Yeah. So we had, speaking about lost in translation, Lactobacillus Prime, who folded a lot of, he generally got there in the end, which was great. So fantastic. Thank you, Mark. Maximar D, thank you for returning. T-Rex Space Station. JR Services Gamer, of course, I don't even have to say his name, you know he's going to be on the list. Bangkok Ian, Electric Adventures, 1 MSX to go, welcome back John. Retro David Nintendo, Metropolis, Infected Flint, Soulfunk Retro, Acidonia 150, and making his debut on the Friday Foursome, Mr. Monkey Spaz 5000. And it's a successful debut as well, because he won with 8 votes. There you go. Monkey he comes in, he just storms in with his bald head and Spectrum tucked in his back pocket, and bang, he just wins it just like that. Amazing. Anyway, he won. So we'll start with his video. Why not? Here is Monkey Spaz with his Friday Foursome debut.
The first one that I'm going to talk about, I suppose, is I think I was maybe 5, 6 years old, and it was Christmas morning. I remember coming down the stairs with my mum, and she always used to do this. Let me go in first and check that Santa's been. Bullshit. Obviously Santa's been, because you're Santa, you filthy liar, mum. I'd do the same to my kids now, but never mind. But yeah, and I was like, oh, I always got excited. I was like, come on, mum, fucker, get out of my way. I want in and see my presents, please. I'm pretty sure I've been a good boy. Where's my presents? So I remember one year I went in, and I can't remember. I only remember opening one of the items, but I got them both the same year. And there was a big sort of huge box in the living room. Excuse me, I've got windy pops, and I don't remember what order I opened everything in, or if I left that to last, or if I got it first, but I can't remember the exact age. I'd like to say 5, 6, 7 at a massive, massive push. So I opened up this box. I can't remember if I saw what was on the outside of it once the wrapping was off or whatnot, but I opened it up, and lo and behold, it was my own 14-inch colour portable TV for my bedroom, which I thought was bloody amazing, because obviously I was, however old I was, I never had my own TV in my bedroom, and I thought it was awesome, and I was like, oh my god. And funnily enough, I took that TV to university with me. It still worked well. It fell off a computer desk. It got kicked off a chest of drawers that were about this high. One of my friends in the room swung his foot round, caught the cable, and knocked it off, and it landed on its front. The case cracked a little bit, but some sellotape shit sorted that out. And it, honestly, I think it was, I wish I could really remember what make or model it was. I think it began with an M. Oh, it's not Mitsubishi or something, I don't know. But anyway, it was a hardy little bastard. It managed to last so long. Anyway, I got my own colour portable TV for my bedroom, and also the same year, for the same Christmas present session, if you like, I'm going to sneeze, I got an Atari 2600. It was my first proper gaming system, if you like, and I was always in awe of gaming things that I saw on TV, and I've said this before, but I particularly remember the Atari 2600 advert, which was like under £50, £50, £50 from Atari or something like that. So anyway, yeah, to cut a long story short, it couldn't get any longer, I suppose. I got my own colour portable TV and Atari 2600. Second item isn't gaming related, funnily enough. And when I looked this up to see a picture of it, it was a lot smaller than what I remembered as a child. And I was wondering if that's because, like, you know, when you're a child and you think it used to snow and it was up to here, when really it was probably only up to your ankles, but because you were a child, everything was bigger because you were smaller. I do not know, but it was Lego, and I don't know if it was my main present one year, but it was like a Lego medieval castle. Let me know if any of you guys had this down below as well. And I loved Lego. I remember getting it, and I'm sure the top bit of the box sort of flipped open, I think, so you could see the contents of it. I remember seeing it all in detail and like being in awe, and then getting it all out. I remember doing this in my bedroom with the instructions, which were like 1.6 million pages long, ridiculously complicated, and it had like a port. I'm sure it had a draw. Did it have a drawbridge? I don't know if it had a drawbridge. I'm sure it had like a portcullis, you know, the metal gate things that moved up and down as well, and it had knights with spears, I think, and there was certainly flags on the castle, and the castle opened out so you could play on the inside of it, and I remember there being horses as well. It was epic. I wish, obviously Lego being Lego, it probably got built and then over the years it got dismantled and built into a million other things, but I wish I still had that, and I wish I still had the box as well. But I will have put a picture on the screen at some point when I was talking about it. But I loved that, and it was something that could totally hold my attention. Now the next item is another non-gaming item. It was a BMX that I got. I remember having a little sort of metal trike thing for years when I was a kid, and then one year, I don't think this was wrapped, because it would have been a right twat for my mum to wrap up, but one year I got this, I'm going to guess and say it was a rally bike. It was like proper BMX looking bike, and it had, you know, you had the pad bit that covered the top of the stem, if we're talking fancy modern day bikes, and it had sort of blue padding along the ball breaker bit. I don't know what you call it, but the bit that women's bikes don't have. Do you know what I mean? If you fall off the saddle, you're going to hurt your baby makers there. And it had a blue bit across the top of the handlebars, and I'm sure it had blue blue hand grips. What do you call them? You know what I mean? The bits that you hold your hands, they were blue as well. I think it just had normal style wheels in it, but I loved that bike. And I remember my mum actually, I didn't have a massive living room, but even her sticking on me on it, it must have been Christmas Day or Christmas morning, and just pushing me, just like to try and get my balance and stuff. And I remember learning how to ride that bike. I guess I was maybe 8, maybe, when I got that. The reason I say that is when I moved towns when I was 9, I still had it. So maybe I was 8, 7. No, I must have been 8. I grew pretty bit quick, and the bike still fitted me fine. But I loved that bike. It was totally proper BMX bike. I had that for years and years and years, actually. I totally loved it. Fourth Christmas gift, if I can get my words out, it's Starterfest there nearly, was a Mega Drive, and it was a Mega Drive 1. I can't remember what I had at the time. Maybe it was still just my Spectrum that I had prior to this, but I had a friend, my mum's friend's husband, they just lived a couple of doors down the road. He had all the systems, all the games, etc. And I was friends with their son, and I used to go around there after school and whatnot, and play at their house and play on the games and systems and whatnot. And like it is when we were younger, and like a lot of us, my parents maybe never had a lot of money at the time and whatnot, but she actually bought, the chap who had the Mega Drive, he upgraded to Mega Drive 2, if you can call it upgrading. So she actually bought the Mega Drive off of him for my Christmas, and I think I got Sonic. Definitely got the Mega games. I'm looking over there because it's on the shelf, the one with columns and golden axe. Maybe I got a couple of Mega games, and I definitely got Alicia Dragoon, which is why I've recently, not that long ago, bought it because of that. But yeah, I genuinely think I probably came from the Spectrum straight to the Mega Drive from what I remember. But I loved it. I was amazed. Although nowadays I am a Super Nintendo fan. I thought it was amazing. Do you know what I mean? Have my own proper Mega Drive in my room, and my mate who lived down the road, he had a Mega Drive as well. But that's probably where my love of Alicia Dragoon came from, because I had that back in the day. Absolute classic game, and it was many hours of gaming and glorious fun times had. And it didn't bother me, or I didn't even think at the time, oh, my mum's bought this, it's not new. It didn't even have a box, I don't think. I was just happy as a kid. I'm going to really guess now, maybe being 10, 11, maybe at the oldest. I was just happy to have my own Mega Drive, basically. So it was pretty cool.
So, like I was saying, case in point, Monkey, bless him, has taken it as Christmas gifts, which is great. That's fine. It's not a problem. And great gifts they were too. Colour portable TV with a 2600. Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, back in the day, I never had a 2600. So, you know, if I had that before the Amstrad, that would have, I would have been fucking chuffed with that, because a mate of mine had a 2600, and we used to go around there before I even had a system myself. So it's certainly the thing down my way. And then aren't the little portable CRTs completely bulletproof and bomb-proof? They seem to be. I mean, we had a black and white one. I think it was emanating from the bloody mid-70s or something, but it just kept going and going and going and going. It was like a bloody Energizer bunny. It wouldn't stop. Lego, well, I think a couple of people have chosen Lego in this list. I had Lego. I think everybody did. I mean, if you didn't have Lego, you weren't making shit, were you? I don't know where I went with that. Sorry, completely lost. I need some caffeine, and it's gone cold. Anyway, BMX. He said, "I'm not going." You see, I'm jealous of that, because the bike I had when I was younger it was halfway between a mountain bike and halfway a BMX. You remember them kind of bikes? So it kind of looked really odd and not cool, didn't fit in, and it got stolen in the end, which, I didn't really, okay, whatever. I wanted a Rally Mongoose at the time, and remember it used to be like a turquoise colour. They were brilliant with the mag wheels. I'm going completely off tangents here, a bit like Monkey does. And the last one, what did he say, the last one? You just watched it. Oh, Mega Drive, of course. Well, always a fantastic gift is a Mega Drive. Yeah, so we'll draw a line under that. But thank you, Monkey, and well done for winning your first Friday Foursome. May this be the first of many for you to enter, because the Friday Foursome will be continuing throughout this year. Okay, on to the second winner. I think he got 6 votes. Joint second winners. We're going to choose 3 this time. And that's, again, going over the other side of the world to Tasmania with Tony and Electric Adventures and some of his childhood gifts.
Now, I don't have many retro console stories from back in childhood, so all of the pics need to be a gift that you got as a child. So not things that you bought yourself later on when you were working and things like that. So only one of mine is going to be video game related, because I actually only received one video game console as a child, and this was a family present. This was bought for the whole family, but fair's to be fair, I probably played it more than anybody else in the family. And it was a Hanimex Pong console. So no, I never got an Atari 2600 or a Intellivision or even a ColecoVision. I desperately wanted an Atari 2600, I can tell you that much, and I loved going to my next door neighbours and playing their Intellivision, and thus why I have such strong nostalgia for those systems. But no, the only system we had was a Hanimex Pong system, and I have searched and I have searched online, and I still haven't found the model of this Pong system. It was non-expandable. I believe it had about 7 games. Actually must have more, because you could pay the normal Pong games, and then you had these other bike games that you could play with. And you only had an analog controller with a button on it. Did it have a button? Yeah, no, I'm sure it had a serve button, unless you had to press a button on the console. It is quite a long time ago, but it was made by Hanimex. It had orange buttons along it, as a lot of the Hanimex machines were, mostly white. But in difference to the other Hanimex console, pardon me, it had these motorbike games. So the idea was you had to move your motorbike from the left hand side of the screen, right hand side of the screen, and there'd be jumps and you had to rev to jump the bike, or you had to go along up a ramp and jump a distance. And I believe there was a third game you had to do with the bike as well. So the 3 bike games, maybe that was it, 3 bike games and 4 Pong games. That's all there was, but we played that together, and I played it with probably my elder sister, and yeah, had lots of fun with it. So anyway, right, sorry, had coffee fit. Probably should have taken a bigger drink. So the other nostalgic items would have been, I got, I think it was 3 Micronauts. The Micronauts were an obscure toy in the 80s. It's really hard to find information on it. I'll try and pop up some pictures if I find them. But they were artificial humans sent out into space to, you know, colonize planets and everything like that. And they're really cool. And I believe I had 3 Micronauts. I think I got 2 separate ones, just individual Micronauts, and 1 with a vehicle. And I played with those things heaps. Absolutely love them. Would have loved to have got more. I actually saw some recently in a local retro comics store. It actually had an old Micronaut set in there, one that I'd never seen. It had a train track, or monorail track as it was doing, with a base and things like that. Oh, very simple but lots of fun, fully articulated, not very big. And I suppose they were the main, you know, figures and things like that that I had back in the day. I never got any Star Wars figures back in the day too, by the way. And then probably my next most nostalgic was when I got Capella. Capella was a set of toys where you had modules, round modules with joints on all sides, and some of them had motors in them, others had gears, and you assembled machines from the Capella sets. And I got a Capella set. Okay, now a little break there for dogs barking, somebody passing by the house. So, and then I suppose to final off, my 4th pick would actually be Lego in general. I did actually buy a lot of Lego sets myself, but in my earlier childhood I got a lot of Lego City sets. Later on I added to those Lego sets when I was doing my paper round and things like that, so around the 12, 13 mark. But earlier on I had a lot of Lego bought me. Well, I considered a lot of Lego back then. It included, I got started out with this huge original basic set of pieces that I was able, you know, I had lots and lots of blocks. And then these other small sets that I bought my parents over time, which I added to with other sets later. The Lego of which I sold in its completion to buy my first computer, which was a TI-99-4. I also sold the Capella, I had Meccano, a train set. Can't even remember seeing the Micronauts. I don't know what happened to the Micronauts. And I wouldn't have a clue what happened to that Hanamix Pong console. Never know, when I go to my mother's and clean out her garage a bit more, I might find it.
So Tony there, another fan of the Lego. See, I said there was more than one Lego entry in this. Yes, those construction giants are back again. I'm surprised actually, because I honestly thought that he was going to say that he had a Coleco or a Spectra Video or something to be one of his first computers, and a console, should I say. And but a Pong machine. I mean, most of us have experienced a Pong machine, haven't we? Along the lines, and we know how funny they are in the modern day, I suppose. We have some. I don't have a lot of memories of Pong machines because I didn't really like them, because I was beyond that point at that point. But I suppose if you're, you know, before that era, it's yeah, it'd be a place in the heart, the good old Pong machine. And the orange buttons. I know what he says about the orange buttons. They always seem to have orange. A lot of them had orange buttons with a grey case, didn't they? It was a clone design. The generic Pong machine. This is the design, guys. Orange buttons. Make sure it's got blaze orange buttons. And the other things he talks about, Capella. I don't remember that at all. It looks an interesting thing. It kind of looks like a plasticky Meccano kind of thing, but yeah, I have no memory of that at all. And Micronauts, I remember the name, and I think a lot of people watching that probably remember the name and think, yeah, I remember them, but I can't ever picture either having one or playing with one or seeing one. So it's good. It talks about this kind of stuff because it's things that I would never experience, and a lot of you guys never experience. So it's fantastic. It's a fantastic response, actually, Tony. This one, but they all are. I always say that. And we said Lego, didn't he? And the Pong console, and the Capella, and the Micronauts, and that's it. I've covered it all. You see, I'm going right ahead of myself. This is not Foursome. It's not a Foursome. I'm not greedy. It's a Foursome. So, thank you, Tony, for that. And again, join with him with 6 votes on my Facebook. I must say the voting was a lot better this time. So thank you, everyone, for that. Let's pump it up even more, though. I want to see more votes and more likes on the Facebook. On my Facebook page, links are all in the description box, as I say every Friday Foursome. But coming back for another response is Retro Dave in Nintendo, 6 votes, and he is our 3rd place winner, I suppose, or joint 2nd, however you want to say it. But here we go with Dave's gifts of the Nintendo-ish style.
The first thing that I got, I'm just trying to remember what I've got in the shop behind me. So in 1991, which I think I was now, must have been 7 or 8 or something like that. 1991, summer of 91. I didn't even ask for the system. I didn't even ask for the console, which was not that I remember. I don't remember asking for it, but I had a Amstrad GX 4000 already at this point, and we only had the one game, which was the Burning Rubber game. And my dad and my mum and that knew that, you know, we were a bit fed up with it because we only had the one game. And I remember getting a Nintendo console for my birthday of 1991, and the console in question, there's the set I got, obviously not the exact one, but it was the action set. So this holds a lot of memories for me, a lot of nostalgia for the system, and as most of you know, this is the kind of my go-to collecting system. Yeah, this was it for me. I opened this and I was like, wow. You know, a Nintendo. I never played a one before. I knew what one was, but I never thought I was ever going to get one. And I can remember to this day, I remember like having like lunch or dinner or whatever, and my dad, we're up in the bedroom, and I remember my dad having it out of the box, and we'd plug it in the TV, tuning it all in, setting it up. And I remember pressing start for the first time, and seeing that Mario Brothers come on like from the Duck Hunt screen, Mario Bros Duck Hunt screen. You press start, and then just seeing Mario for the first time, and just, you know, experiencing that game and trying to work out what you had to do. And there's a brown thing coming across the screen, and what's it do? Does it kill you? And, you know, just trying to, and just learning for the first time and seeing that game is just amazing. It just, and that day just started it for me, and it's probably led me to where I am now. You know, that was the day that kick-started the love for Nintendo and the games and Mario and everything else. So the Nintendo action set, I didn't have any other games of it. It was just this one for the time being. I'll do a video on that myself on another date about my childhood games, but I got this action set with the packing game, Mario Bros Duck Hunt, and that is my favourite childhood gift number 1. Okay, gift number 2. So this would have been Christmas. This is definitely Christmas 1992. So it's a handheld system. You know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say it is. But I remember every Saturday morning when obviously it was out and it was in Dixon's. So those in the UK will probably know what Dixon's is all about. It's basically like a electronics, like hi-fi kind of store. Sold your TV, your stereos, games, that kind of thing. Now they had the Game Boy on like a demo stand, a demo pod. I think there's like 3 or 4 around this stand. And every Saturday, my dad and my brother would go into town and go around the shops. And we used to always go into Dixon's, and I used to go on the stand and play Mario Land. Pardon me. I used to love it. I'd stay in the shop as long as I could, playing the Game Boy. I remember pestering my parents for like months, saying, "Oh my, you know, for Christmas, please can I have a Game Boy?" I remember pestering and pestering. And to be honest with you, I think that is the only system I really pestered for. I never asked for the NES or any other Nintendo console. It was the Game Boy. I loved it, and I really wanted one. And yeah, I was lucky enough for Christmas 1992 to get this set, which was the standalone Game Boy. Now my brother got the Tetris bundle, which was is a large box with like the blue, like the hands holding the Game Boy. You know, the box set I mean, the Tetris bundle, the one probably most people probably got. But I specifically asked for one game with my Game Boy. I wanted one game, which I'll show you in a minute. So my parents got me the standalone set. I didn't pay the extra to get Tetris because I wasn't too bothered about Tetris. But one game I wanted, and I must have seen it advertised on TV or something, because I certainly hadn't played it before in Dixon's. I only played Mario Land. But I wanted this one game, and I'll show you what it is. So I've got the standalone Game Boy, and luckily I got 3 games. So I asked for one, but I guess they got a deal or whatever. And the actual game I asked for was DuckTales. Now I haven't got this box complete as yet, but yeah, DuckTales is the game I wanted with the Game Boy, and I was lucky enough to get the standalone console, DuckTales. But to my surprise, I've got 2 other games with it as well, and I've got Spider-Man 2 and Lemmings. So I've got 3 games which I was absolutely over the moon with. As you can imagine, you know, Christmas '92. I mean, I can remember it vividly, opening it up and just being completely like overwhelmed. I was like, this is like amazing. I think that's why I remember it so well now. It's made such an impact on me. I really wanted a Game Boy, and yeah, Christmas 1992 was the year for me. And I got 3 games, and my brother got a Game Boy as well. And he got Gremlins 2, was it Kirby's Dream Land, I think? Gremlins 2, Kirby's Dream Land, and obviously Tetris that come with it. So yeah, we were both very lucky that year, and yeah, so pleased to have that. So that is my gift number 2. Okay, now we're going to move on to gift number 3, and again, another Nintendo related item. And this would have been my birthday of summer 1993. So yeah, summer 93. I remember coming downstairs in the morning. So how it used to work with us for birthdays is my parents would leave like my birthday presents or my brother's birthday presents on the sofa in the front room. So I'd come down and they'd put like a little banner on the back of the chair, and they'd put, you know, happy birthday or whatever, and you have a few cards and a few presents or whatever on the settee. So I remember opening my first present. So my first present opened up, and it was F-Zero. And I remember like opening it and be like, oh wow, thanks. My dad was like, downstairs with me. I remember opening it, and I was like, oh, that's great, but I think you've made a mistake. This won't work on the Nintendo or the NES that I had. And my dad was like, oh right, okay. Well, why don't you open the big present? So I opened the big present, and to my absolute amazement, I've got the Mario All-Stars SNES bundle, and I was absolutely like over the moon because my best friend had the Street Fighter 2 SNES bundle, and I used to go around his house like all the time after school and go around his house and play on his SNES. And he was the kid that had everything. He had like the SNES, he had like loads of cool games, and I never even asked for it, but I must have obviously said to my mum and dad, oh, I've been around James's house and I played this, I played that, and obviously I must have spoke about it. And they just went and got me this on my birthday, and I was just like absolutely blown away. So I opened F-Zero, I opened this, and was just like, oh my god, like a fucking Super Nintendo. I couldn't believe it. And then there was another present left. There's one more present, and I opened that, and it was Mario Kart. So obviously my dad knows like my cars, my racing games. I've got obviously F-Zero, and I opened this, and I was like, fucking fantastic, Mario Kart. You know, I'd never played it. I'd never played Mario Kart before. Never played F-Zero before. I knew obviously the Mario All-Stars, I could see it had Mario Brothers 1, 2 and 3, obviously like a updated version. But I'd never played Mario. I'd only played Street Fighter 2, and I think I played Zelda. I'm sure it was Zelda. It was like a couple of games my friend had. But yeah, to get, you know, Mario Kart F-Zero on the SNES for my birthday in 1993 was just an amazing gift, and I can remember it very clearly. I can remember opening it now. It was just such a cool gift. So that was my gift number 3. So gift number 4, I have to grab off the shelf because I forgot to take it off before I did this video. So the story behind this gift, this wasn't a birthday or Christmas. Now, I'm not sure people my age would kind of relate to this, but, you know, I never got games or any real gifts unless it was a birthday or Christmas, you know. It just didn't happen. You know, if you wanted games or you wanted something quite significant, you'd have to wait for your birthday or Christmas. You'd have to ask around that time. Very, very rarely, and this is the one of those rare occasions where I was in Woolworths at the time, so I can't remember the year exactly, but this was before the Super Nintendo, so it must have been, or was it? Do you know what? I can't be sure. It's going to have to be somewhere around 91. It's going to be somewhere between 91 93. That's all I can say. I can't remember the year, but I remember being in Woolworths and. It would have been when the Super Nintendo was out, because Woolworths were selling off the last of their original Nintendo games. So they had like a few NES games left, like on the shelf, on sale. They were reduced just to clear them off the shelf, I guess, because they had the 16-bit stuff on the shelf. They wanted rid of the NES stuff. Now there was one game that we rented. We rented it and loved it. I was like, oh my god, this game's amazing. You know, we rented the game. And I thought, oh, one day I'll get that. One day I'll ask for it for my birthday or Christmas or whatever. So, as again, it's another Saturday, and we're in Woolworths, and I always used to go straight to the games and music section of Woolworths every Saturday, without fail. And I'm looking around the music like I always would, picking up like a cassette single or whatever. I went to the games section, and I saw this game, and it's the game that we rented, obviously, I think a few weeks or months previous. And it was on sale, so it would have been like £40, and it was half price. I remember it was £19.99. It was 20 quid, and I remember pleading with my dad. And you know, like I say, my dad wouldn't, you know, he wouldn't budge. Like, he was one of them guys that, you know, he wouldn't give you any extra if you asked for it, you know. And I remember being in Woolworths. And I pleaded and pleaded to, can we get this game, please? When we rented it and we really liked it, it's on sale. It was the last one. Yeah, it was the last one on the shelf. That was it. And it was 20 quid. And I said, oh, please, can we get this game? Please, can we get it? And reluctant, you know, he gave in. It's like, all right, fair enough. And he got it. And we were just like, me and my brother were like, oh my God, we can't believe he bought us the game. And the game was Mario 3. Arguably one of the best games on the Nintendo, and one of my favourites. This Mario 3, Mario World, I think are the 2 best Mario games ever made. And yeah, to get this, which wasn't a special occasion like a birthday or Christmas, was just, yeah, out of this world. I remember we picked it up, and I remember waiting for I'm at the queue. I was thinking, oh my God, when my dad changed his mind and puts it back, you know. I remember being so paranoid he was going to change his mind. And then we paid for it, and then you put it in the bag. I remember holding this little Woolworths bag all the way around the town. Couldn't wait to get home, knowing I didn't have to wait for a Christmas or a birthday. I knew as soon as I got in, I could play it. And I was just like, I remember being in the back of the car, you know, and you take the thing off, the wrap off, and I'm looking at the manual, and I'm looking at it, and just thinking, I can't wait to get home and play it. And yeah, that one of those rare occasions where you get a game or a gaming related item, not on a special occasion. Just, yeah, fantastic, really good memory of that. So that was Mario 3. So that is my best gift. Number 4 is Mario 3 on the NES.
So as expected, Retro Dave Nintendo not letting us down, and a whole smattering of Nintendo goodies. An original an original NES action set. Oh, I would have drooled over that at the time. Never had one, but Super Nintendo, I can certainly share your feelings on that, because that's the sort of thing, you know, I got one Christmas. I got a Super Nintendo, and was just, this is just the best thing ever, and some people would still argue it is. Super Mario Brothers 3 as a game, of course, and an original Game Boy, and that original Game Boy without the Tetris one, I don't recall ever seeing that before. I knew they were out there, just a standalone console, just a unit on its own. Every one I saw was always the one with the Tetris. So that's really cool to see that. Really cool to see that, because it's something that it doesn't crop up much, I think. Well, certainly didn't crop up enough for me. But not surprised there. All the classic Nintendo all the way through there. All four. I mean, all four of them are just utterly superb, aren't they? Before Nintendo got into sort of the middling area. But fantastic stuff from Retro Dave. Thank you very much for the responses, all of you. And congratulations to the winners. Right. Now, Friday Foursome 13. This is a question which I've been pondering. It's been creaking around in the cogs of the Novabug brain. And, yeah, I'm just going to ask it. Because I think we've got this point where we're so far now into gaming, the gaming era, as it were. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you could argue it started in the 74, couldn't you? But I suppose a popular game would have started with Pong. We'll say that 70, 79 kind of thing. But since then, there's been shitloads of publishers, developers, and everything else and whatnots. So, what are 1, 2, 3, 4? Do it that way, I said. 4 favourite game publishers / developers. The floor is yours. Anything you want. I'm going to kick off with a pretty obvious one, I think, because they basically supported the GX4000. Oh, by the way, well done, Retro Dave, for getting the GX4000 referencing right at the beginning there. Extra points for that. If I had control over the votes, that would have won. Sorry, Monkey, because, you know, it's Amstrad and he's Spectrum. But, yeah, that immediately put a big smile on my face. Of course it would. Anyway, back. I'm digressing now. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, game publishers, developers, for your favouritos of them. What the hell was that? Goodness me. The GX4000 and the Plus range and Amstrad as a whole really were supported by this publishing house. And I think a lot of people are nodding along already. And that, of course, is Ocean. And I've got the book about Ocean as well, the history of Ocean, and it's a fantastic, fascinating journey of what that company went through and how they started out with 2 guys, and the fact that they just persevered and they started producing some excellent games. Yeah, some games were rubbish, but most of the games were so good, and they were really good on other platforms, not just the Amstrad, but the Spectrum and the Commodore and the Amigas of this world. And it's a shame they're not with us anymore because they were really, really good. And it was just synonymous with that age was Ocean. An Ocean game in your collection, many Ocean games in your collection, was probably the norm for any of the 8-bit owners, 8-bit computer owners certainly. So they've definitely got to be, I think they're probably my top developer publisher / kind of thing, because they did both, they dabbled both. My second one would be, again, I don't think they're with us anymore. I think they were shut down by Sony. I think they were bought out by Sony at one point. But they brought us the likes of Lemmings, and they brought us the likes of Blood Money and Wipeout, and so many other, Shadow of the Beast, some great titles, and that's Psygnosis. And it pains me because they were you know, British originally, Psygnosis, up in the north, and they were bought out by Sony at one point, and then shut down, I think, and that was that, which is such a pity because they had such a rich history in making some great games. They really did, memorable games as well. The Wipeout franchise is just, it blew up when it went. How did they create such a great, fast, smooth racer on a PlayStation at the time? You go back and you look at Wipeout 3 now, and you think, what is that running on? Is it running on a PlayStation or a PlayStation 2? Honestly, you couldn't tell because it's so well done, and it's on a PlayStation 1. It's a fantastic game. Psygnosis, Lemmings, obviously a classic. The reason why I mentioned Blood Money, because it's one of the games I remember playing on a friend's Amiga. I don't think it's ever came out on anything else, but I remember on Amiga, and I remember it having a synthesized voice at the beginning, and it would say, Psygnosis presents Blood Money, or something like that. I can't do death voices. I'm an alive person. But that really, I remember that, and it was a shoot 'em up. It was a shoot 'em up a bit like Cybernoid. And a kind of vertical, horizontal scrolling shoot 'em up when you had to collect money that fell out of the enemies that you shot. So that was good. Right, now I'm losing my track again. God, Ocean, Psygnosis, and now I think I'm just going to have to go with the obvious. We're going back to Nintendo again, and then that's just Nintendo themselves. You say what you like about them, love them or hate them, you've got to admit, the facts... Oh, I've got something in my eye, sorry. The facts are that Nintendo... Well, we know the story about them saving the gaming market in the US, we know that, so we're not going to touch on that. But the games they produced, their first party IPs particularly, you know, they created the most famous video game character on the planet, bar none. That's no argument. No one can argue. Even the most avid Nintendo hater can't argue with that. That Mario is the most recognisable character. Even out of the genre, people that don't even know video games or play them, they still know who Mario is. And it's the Legend of Zelda series. And they're even doing it now when they bring out new IPs and everyone sort of frowns upon them. Or the Wii U's not been great sales-wise. And they bring out Splatoon and it's a massive hit, you know. And they really do. It takes them so long to do it, but when they finally get their act together and get out a decent game, it's normally spot on. It's normally a cracking game. You've got Star Fox franchise, why they haven't done more with that, F-Zero franchise, the Kirby franchise, the Pokemon franchise, and the list goes on and on and on. So many famous titles, so many famous names, faces, characters. You can't not pick them in a list for me, personally. So Nintendo are right up there. And finally, I'm going to choose... I was pondering about this, because I didn't know whether to choose them or not. Because they were so synonymous with bad games. I am picking them on the basis that their intentions were to obviously support the system, their father system, should I say. So you know I'm going to say Amsoft. You knew I was going to say Amsoft. I got to put Amsoft. I mean, most of the games they made were gash. They really were. Home Runner, Bridget. There's one for John Gage there. I mentioned Bridget. But you know, when I first got my Amstrad, it was the Amsoft games I used to play. So Roland on the Ropes, Fruit Machine, a Harrier Attack, were three of the games I used to play so much. And yeah, they're not great. They're not brilliant games. They're not bad. I mean, don't get me wrong about that. Them three especially. They're not terrible like Solomon's Maze is, or Home Runner, or Animal Vegetable Moon, or some of the Roland in Time. No, not Roland in Time. Roland on the Run. God, that's awful. But yeah, I'm just picking them on the basis of nostalgia value for starters, and the fact that they chucked out so many games. They put them with the Amstrads, they chucked them out with the Amstrads, and they have a lot of memories for me personally. So yeah, Ocean for me, Psygnosis, Nintendo themselves, of course, and Amsoft. So they're my 4 picks for my 4 favourite game developers / publishers. And now I want to know your 4. Normal rules apply again. Just responses, as always, linked to me. You've got a month. So we're looking... Oh, it's February, isn't it? So we're looking at probably the first week in March. So 4 weeks from now, say for the next Friday Foursome. Friday Foursome 14. 4. Too many 4s again. I'm getting 4'd up. It's fucking ridiculous. Do your responses, please. I really want to know what you want to say about your favourite game developers. Rip into a few if you want. I know some of you will. I know some of you like doing that. Who are your favourites? I think Sega's going to get a lot of fanboyism coming out here. I can just see it coming over the horizon. The sun's gone in, so the light's gone a bit funny. Sorry. So yeah, normal procedure. Link to me, the videos. All the links you need are in the description box. I thank you again for supporting the Friday Foursome. Let me know if you know what. Anybody wants to suggest a question? I mean, I've got questions. I'm not going to show you them. See, all for the year, all sort of set out. But if you've got a suggestion for a question, let me know privately, of course. PM me or something, or direct message on Twitter or whatever. Yeah, we'll see where we can go. And if your question gets through, we'll run with it, and we'll go with it on a future episode of Friday Foursome. But for now, thank you for tuning in on this Friday. It is Friday. It should be, because it's on a Friday and it's a Foursome on a Friday. So, thank you. And I'll see you next time, and look forward to all your responses. Nova Bug. and Foursome out.